Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Jamaica News in Review. Man killed at funeral service in Query, St. James. The St. James police have commenced a probe into the shooting death of a man near a funeral service in the community of Query on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as 30-year-old Shamari Sterling, unemployed of Philman Corner, also in St. James. Reports are that about noon, Sterling was standing at a location where a funeral service was being held in the Query district when he was attacked by armed men and shot several times. The police were summoned, and upon arrival, Sterling was discovered lying in a pool of blood with multiple gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue. Vendor charged for robbery after going to hospital with gunshot injury. A jerk chicken vendor was arrested and charged in connection to robbery in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth, after he turned up at hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound on Thursday, April 6. Charged is 33-year-old Sean Reed, otherwise called Romain, of Newport District in Manchester. Reed has been charged with robbery with aggravation, possession of an illegal weapon, and using an illegal weapon to commit an offense. Reports from the Santa Cruz police are that about 7:55 a.m., Reed and 3 other men held up and robbed a man of his licensed firearm. They then attempted to rob a supermarket. They made their demands, and when they were not met, Reed proceeded to hit the complainant multiple times in his face. Later that same day, Reed turned up at hospital with a gunshot wound. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, it was discovered that Reed accidentally shot himself. He was treated and released to the police. Reed was positively identified after an identification parade on Thursday, April 27. His court date is being finalized. Man killed 2 injured at Manchester party. The Manchester police are probing the circumstances surrounding the pre-dawn murder of a man and the injury of 2 others at a party in the community of Top Greenville yesterday morning. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Andrew Hines of a Greenville address. Reports are that at approximately 12:15 a.m., a lone gunman opened gunfire in the crowd, hitting Hines and 2 others. Hines was rushed to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The 2 other individuals were hospitalized. This brings the total number of murders in the parish this year to 20. Goat thief injured in police shootout denied bail. One of 4 goat thieves who was intercepted by police and engaged the lawmen in a shootout in Kingsland's Pertwee earlier this month was denied bail when he appeared in the Manchester Circuit Court on Thursday. The accused, Nigel Baker, has been slapped with 3 counts of shooting with intent to murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, possession of unauthorized ammunition, and possession of a firearm with intent to injure. Reports are that 4 men traveling in a blue Toyota Viz stole 6 goats in St. Elizabeth on April 4. They tried escaping through Manchester but were intercepted by the police. At approximately 4:30 p.m., a shootout ensued. 3 men, including Baker, were found suffering from gunshot wounds when the shooting subsided. 1 goat was also shot and injured. The men were taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where 2 succumbed and Baker was hospitalized. The 4th man remains at large. According to the prosecutor, the ballistic certificate for the seized firearm is still outstanding. Baker is expected to return to court on May 17. SSP Ricketts lists persons of interest as gang violence erupts in St. Andrew South. 1 person has succumbed to injuries he sustained after 5 people were shot and wounded on Friday in what police are describing a gang feud in the Union Gardens and Colin communities in the St. Andrew South Police Division. Senior Superintendent of Police SSP in charge of the division, Kirk Ricketts, told reporters in an interview that the man who is now deceased was a person of interest in gang-related activities in the Union Gardens area. SSP Ricketts also revealed that one of the injured persons was a church member who was shot inside the church while service was in session. He said that due to the upsurge of violence between the top Union Gardens and the Rat-Bat gangs in the area, a 48-hour curfew was imposed and police presence in the area has been increased. However, this has not deterred violent producers, as another incident occurred Sunday morning. We have brought in additional resources from the Specialized Operations Branch, and we intend to keep it like that at least until we get to the bottom of this, SSP Ricketts stated. He went on to list persons of interest who the police believe can assist in quelling the violence which has erupted in the communities. These persons include Michael Jackson of Union Gardens, Warren Bent, otherwise called Juvenile or Ghost, of Spanish Town Road, David Howard Patton, Denera English, otherwise called German, of Delacree Park, Little D from Crescent Road, Sadiki from Union Avenue, Ronnie of Union Avenue, Redhead of Union Avenue, Flash, as he is said to be residing in Old Harbour and St. Catherine, and Ruber, who is also said to be residing in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. We have particular interest in Flash as being one of the individuals who we believe would have been involved in the first incident in Union Gardens. We have already reached out to our counterparts in St. Catherine South with as much information as we have on him and his cronies in the site to locate him, SSP Ricketts stated. He went on to implore the other persons of interest to turn themselves in to the Hunts Bay Police Station by 12 noon on Monday, May 1. These individuals are from both sides of the streets, and they are the brothers, the cousins, the children of residents within Union Gardens and Co Lane. I am beseeching our residents not to support them in this ongoing gang feud that is likely to escalate with your support. We are asking you to call us and to indicate where they are so we search for them, SSP Ricketts implored residents. One dead, another wounded following violent incidents on St. Anne Plaza. One person is dead and another wounded following a series of disputes at the 8 Rivers Plaza in Otra, St. Anne. The deceased has not yet been identified. According to the police, at about 2 p.m., two workers had a dispute at a well-known restaurant on the plaza. It is reported that an altercation developed and one of the workers was stabbed multiple times by the other. The injured worker was rushed to hospital and admitted in serious but stable condition. A police source told reporters that shortly after, a man who is said to be the brother of the injured worker came and attacked the other worker. Lawmen say a police officer that was on the scene intervened in the second dispute and shot the alleged brother of the injured worker. The man who was shot by the police was taken to hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Investigations continue. Curfew for troubled Greenville, Manchester. Police are reporting that a curfew will be imposed in the troubled community of Greenville in Manchester starting yesterday. A police source confirmed that the curfew will start at 6 p.m. on Monday and will end 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Based on the recent spate of violent crimes in Greenville community and its environs, the Division of Intelligence Investigative Arms have conducted inquiries, investigation, and surveillance exercises. Information so far reveal that the recent spate of violent crimes in the community is because of interpersonal dispute between rival gangsters, the source said. The boundaries are as follows. North boundary from a section of Gabby Street at Northern 1182 meters along Gabby Street Road to a section of a roadway at the Winston Jones Highway vicinity of Miketown bus stop. Eastern boundary from a section of the roadway at the Winston Jones Highway vicinity of Miketown bus stop at the eastern boundary 1867 meters along the Winston Jones Highway to entrance of Tropics View Hotel at the southern boundary. Southern boundary from a section of the entrance of Tropic View Hotel at southern 1588 meters along an imaginary line to the intersection of Texas Street and Dunsin Lane. Western boundary from Dunsin Lane and Texas Street intersection at the southern boundary 1793 meters along an imaginary line westerly to a section of Gabby Street at the northern boundary. Persons are reminded that during the hours of the curfew, all persons within the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. The curfew follows Sunday morning's deadly gun attack in Top Greenville that left one man dead and 3 other people injured. Man killed, teen injured in Portmore gun attack. A man was shot dead and a 17-year-old youth injured during an attack by a gunman at the home in Brayton Meadows in Portmore, St. Catherine on Wednesday afternoon. The dead man has been identified as 20-year-old Nashon Lewis, otherwise called Eddie, and Crawman. The injured teen is a student. It was reported that around 1:30 p.m., the two males were among other people sitting inside the house when they were pounced upon by a man. Police said the man opened gunfire, hitting Lewis in the upper body. The teen was shot in the leg. They were assisted by residents to hospital, where Lewis was pronounced dead and the teen admitted in serious but stable condition. Police were still in the area up to late in the afternoon. The attack follows the shooting of 4 men, one fatally, at a car wash in the same community on Monday. In that attack, 3 gunmen stormed the venue, opened fire on the 4, and escaped. Superintendent Hobson Nicholson, who who is in charge of the operations for the St. Catherine South Division, said the police are probing whether the shootings are related. Not sure they are as yet. Investigation are ongoing, he told reporters. Cops seek Uncle Damon following St. Anne's shooting. Police have launched a manhunt for a man known as Uncle Damon following the shooting death of another man in Parton in Ottawa, St. Anne Tuesday morning. The injured man has since been admitted to hospital. Reports reaching reporters are that around 6:25 a.m., the two men had a dispute over a shop. It is understood that during the dispute, the now injured man was threatened that he would be killed. Police said the man left and reportedly returned with a firearm a few minutes later. Several shots were fired, hitting the now injured man in his abdomen and left hand. The shooter, the police said, escaped in a grey Toyota Axio motor car. The injured man was assisted by residents to hospital, where he was admitted in stable condition. Following investigations, police have been seeking Uncle Damon, who they believe can assist in their probe. Warmington, PNP councillor caretaker clashed during Portland tour. There were heated exchanges on Wednesday as Government Minister Edward Warmington insisted People's National Party PNP councillor caretaker for the Fellowship Division in Portland, Colin Bell, should not accompany him on a tour of the area. Warmington, who is the minister without portfolio with responsibility for works, stated that he does not tour with caretaker candidates or councillors and that the only political representative should be there was the Member of Parliament Anne-Marie Valls. You don't follow my tour. Caretakers are not recognized in the Constitution of Jamaica. I don't tour with councillors caretakers regardless of their party. I am touring with the Member of Parliament. If you want some information, then ask her. This is not a political tour, Warmington told Bell. But Bell hit back, stating that he is a Member of Parliament aspirant and that he is also a citizen of Jamaica who has an interest in what goes on in Fellowship Division. However, Warmington countered says Bell should keep his interests at his yard while questioning who invited the PNP representative on the tour. I am a citizen of Jamaica and I want to know what is happening. Close your eyes if you don't want to see me. I am here. This is a Government of Jamaica tour. May I share my interests? Bell insisted. Shortly after the verbal clash, Warmington told members of the media it was an unfortunate incident. When I'm touring and looking at infrastructure, I tour with the people's elected representative. I don't want to tour with whether constituency or divisional caretakers or councillors. The Constitution does not recognize a caretaker. If a council caretaker or councillor wants to tour, let them tour with their Member of Parliament. Any representation to me has to come from the Member of Parliament, not the councillor nor the council caretaker, Warmington sought to clarify. The Fellowship Division is without an elected representative following the death of its former councillor, Erwin Lewis Brown, who died after contracting COVID-19 in 2021.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the